Hi everybody, this is Kader. I'll be instructing you of how to use SketchUp. First thing you want to do when you start with a program, sometimes you open the program and this nice tool palette that you need desperately for doing all your work might not be there. I'm going to close it and hide it. So the program usually starts with just these tool palettes, and honestly they're not enough to do what we need to do. So the best thing to do is to go to View, Toolbars, and click Large Toolset. So now I have my fancy tool set that I can use for my design and my work. So the nice thing about SketchUp is very intuitive and very easy. Notice how I'm spinning in space. You want to familiarize yourself with this tool called Orbit tool. The Orbit tool allows you to spin up, down, look at an object from below and from above. Please use this template I'm providing for you so you can start with this guy. This guy is drawn to scale. He's 6 foot tall, so whatever you draw an object, you can tell the scale relatively to this object by knowing. So if I'm drawing a small little circle, I know this is the size of a cup. If I'm drawing a big room like this, this is the size of a big tent. So having a person helps me know where am I in space and how big the object I'm drawing. If I draw an object and I want to delete it, I can highlight it and click delete. You can always use undo and redo. So if you made a mistake, don't panic, it's always a solution for that. So the other tool that I use a lot is the hand, because sometimes I'm working and I work on this guy's eye and I want to work on this eye, so I can use the hand to pan from one object to another. I can use the middle button of my mouse to zoom out, or I can use orbit. Learning to navigate in space is very useful. Oh, I just noticed the hand of my Lego person, Vitruvius, is not holding the pipe well, the magic wand, but we'll work on that later. So you can see this is the blue sky horizon, so obviously this is the ground, and this is the sky, and I'm looking from below. So when we start the program, we always start with this axis. I'm going to move my Vitruvius out of the way, and this is the axis where all the magic happens. This is the red axis, this is the red axis, this is the green axis, this is the blue axis. You can tell that the blue axis is always facing up, and one is going right to left, and one's going up to up and down. So when you design something, keep these axes in mind, because the program is trying to work with you with this orientation. So after using the hand, the orbit, or the middle button of the mouse, I can zoom in and zoom out. I highly recommend getting a mouse for using with this program. The program is designed to be used with a mouse. It's make life much easier. So today we're going to work in a very simple assignment. We're going to make a box. So how do I make a box? Let me look at my tools. The first tool I have here is select, and that's not going to draw me a box. This is the paint bucket. It's not going to draw me a box. The eraser, the pencil. I can use the pencil to draw a box. So to use the pencil, I can, because the box is 4 lines, I can draw one line in this direction. See how this box in the left hand corner says length? It's telling me how long my line is, and this is telling me the direction. So when it's the red direction, it's parallel to the red line. So it's on the red axis, and let's say I want to give it a length. So I want to type 3 feet. I type 3 feet and enter, and I have a 3-foot line. Let me examine my work. How can I guarantee that this line is the same exact length I wanted it? So I'm going to use the tape measure, the dimensioning tool. I'm going to click beginning of the line, the end of the line. Obviously I have a 3-foot line. It did work. So I was not guessing, I was working scientifically and mathematically. Now I draw a line in this direction. See that for a second you have to be careful. I'm going to orbit my view. If I'm not careful and I draw this line, it's blue, so it's going up. I want to draw my line on the ground. So now it's green in that direction. It's telling me on the green axis. I can type 2 feet, and I have half a box. I have 2 lines only. I need 4. Now if I look at it from above, it looks straight. If I look at it from here, it has a bit of a perspective. So the shape will change, depends where you're standing and what you're looking at. And I'm using the orbit tool to orbit around. Now I want to continue drawing. Look what happens if I draw a line in this direction. It's working with me because it's assuming I'm going parallel to that line and it's going in that color. It's on the red axis. if I hover over this line and I go like this, it's already decided for me that maybe I'm drawing a rectangle. I want these two lines to be equal, so I don't have to type. By just hovering there, and moving, click, click, and I have my box. So the pencil tool is your friend. You can do a lot with this pencil tool. So I drew my box. I want to double check my measurements. Click, click. This is 3 feet. Click, click, click. It's 2 feet. So I'm getting exactly what I want. So this is one way of drawing a box. I'm gonna undo this. I can either use the eraser and erase it one line at a time. I'm gonna undo this. I can highlight the whole thing and click delete, the delete button on your keyboard. Now I'm gonna draw it another way that's a little bit easier. Instead of drawing 4 lines, I can do the following. I can select the rectangle. I'm still in the space where I need to. And see how the rectangle is changing size? If you look in this corner there, it's telling me what sizes am I getting. So it's randomly giving me the sizes based on the beginning and the end of the rectangle. So if I want it to be precise, I can type 4 feet, comma, 2 feet, and I press enter, and I got myself a box. It's 4 feet by 2 feet. So I'm not guessing, I'm clean and neat, and I'm working on the right plane. So I have to be careful, because if I work on this plane and I do a box like this, see how a box is hanging? It's a piece of paper that's hanging in the space. I wanted my surface to be on the ground, therefore I use the orbit, and I selected to draw on this plane. If I look at this plane, I will draw on this plane. If I look at this direction, I draw in this air like this. So it's hanging in the air again. So important to know how to orbit so you can have the right view. I'm going to erase, use the eraser. Click, click, I erase my box. Now I want to give it height. So one of the neatest features about this, see if I hover on top of an icon, it tells me what it does. So this does push pull, this does scale, this does rotate. Let's focus on push pull today. So I'm going to click push pull. I'm going to start, I'm going to undo. Notice when I put the push pull tool on top of a surface, you have these dots. I'm zooming with the middle of the mouse with the rotating wheel. So I zoomed in and see how there's these dots. That's telling me that the surface is ready to be manipulated. So I'm going to select the surface and I'm going to lift it up, and see if I look at the distance there, it's telling me how high it's getting. 11 inch, 1 foot 2. It's doing it with fractions of an inch, but I wanted an equal number. So I can, while it's still active, I can type 1 foot 6 inches, enter. And let me double check. I'm going to go measure. 1 foot 6, 2, and 4. So it was really easy. I only used 2 tools. I used the rectangle tool. I typed 1 foot, comma 1 foot, enter. I selected the push-pull tool with the arrow facing up. Click the surface. I'm going to lift it up, and I'm going to type 3 feet, and I have a 3-foot box. So now I have 2 shapes, and I can travel between them. I can orbit around them. I can look at them from above. I can see them in the context of my genius architect supporting friend there. And this is how we make boxes in SketchUp. Most objects that human beings make are box driven. So if you're drawing a skyscraper or a store or a village, most of the shapes will be variations of these shapes. So we're going to work on that later on, and this will be the end of this lesson. So practice the tools. Use the select to select a line. Use the eraser to erase what you don't want. You can always undo. Use the pencil to draw lines. And notice how it's snapping intelligently to... I'll see if I can do this work. The minute I finish 3-4 lines, it provides a surface. Watch this. If I draw 1 line, 2 lines, and a 3rd line, I deserve a surface. 2 lines only don't provide a surface, so I do 1, 2, 3. I'm paying attention to the color of my axis, so if it's green, it's in the green axis, if it's red, in the red axis, and then I can connect. Program knows the endpoint. See how it's snapping to midpoint, endpoint, and endpoint. And I have myself another new shape. So practice these exercises, and I'm going to show you the next lesson later. Enjoy. Thanks.